Hey guys, welcome to 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 58, where we are breaking down Friday Night SmackDown, which came to you guys live on October the 24th. And it was an okay episode. It definitely helped to kind of move its way forward a little bit towards the Saturday night's main event, which is coming to you guys live next weekend. And we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So, as always, I am Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And I guess, Sean, the biggest talking point from the show was probably everything that went on with Drew, Jimmy, and Cody Rhodes, and the whodunit. I guess that they're still kind of laying thick on us with the Jacob Fatu thing. So I know you had some stuff to say about that. So I'll let you kick it off.
So I talked about it last week where what if it wasn't Drew that attacked Jacob and put forth the idea that maybe it was Cody. And you made up a really good point when you and I were talking outside of the podcast about what point would it be to have been Cody. So that's the point that I'm hung up on. Like, I definitely don't think it was Drew. I think WWE is planting some sort of seed here for something. But what that something is, I'm not 100% sure anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I still think Cody is showing some more heel tendencies lately than he has been. But in the long game, what does turning Cody do? I don't know that it does anything. You know what I mean? But then the only other option as of right now is Jimmy Uso. And I guess that
That's
big question
what I
is,
was going to ask you. Do you think it was Jimmy?
but here's what I think. Do you give a shit? Is the question when it comes to if it's Jimmy. You
Well,
know what I mean?
they're featuring him so much more, and I really feel like they're building towards a match between him and his brother.
Jimmy's not a main event player, though. Like, as much as I like Jimmy Uso, he's not as athletic. He's not as good in the ring as Jay is, and he doesn't quite have the charisma that Jay has. Um, he's probably about like a 6 to Jay's 10.
Yeah.
Um, for all you D&D nerds out there. But I just the only other thing that I guess they could be doing is setting it up to be a third party. Watch
Mhm.
it have been like Randy,
That'd be interesting.
like, and it have been not nobody. Why? I mean, or somebody else that we don't expect. You know what I mean? I feel like Randy would be a good option though, because he could then be like, well, why is this guy jumping me in line for shots when I'm Randy Orton? You know what I mean?
And
Um,
that might be a good way to like go about it, right? Like, I mean, like anybody, like, I mean, Randy's been off TV for a while. But I mean, there are a variety of people that it could be. I mean, it could have been Brock. It could have been. I mean, they can make anybody. They
yep,
probably haven't even decided who it's going to be
right.
yet. You know what I mean?
And they're just
So
planting these heel Cody seeds just as like their usual tease of something that people want, but they'll never actually do.
Cody's still so over with the crowd and his
Yeah,
entrance and everything else. Like I'll tell you right now, they're not changing his entrance.
no.
Cody's entrance is like 70% of his character right now. Like seriously, like they're not changing that entrance. That entrance is so over. Like there's no way. There's no I refuse to until it actually happens. Like they were teasing. So let me take a step back. I want to say no one ever thought that John Cena was going to turn heel, but at the same time, we all kind of thought John Cena was going to turn heel, and then they kind of butchered it a little bit with the Cody thing. I just don't see it. I don't. I don't see it. I really don't. I mean, they've surprised in the past. I mean, Hulk Hogan turned heel, Roman Reigns turned heel. Like, I mean, it could happen, but I just doubt it.
Let me
I
say
doubt
this.
it.
So, I mean, I was one of the people who did call Cena turning. I mean, it was more on the joking side, so I was still surprised when it happened. But as far as Cody goes, I do think that there is a way to have him turn heel at some point, but I don't think that point is right now. I think his popularity is still so high, and I think that he is much better positioned right now as a babyface. I think that on his current run, if you were going to turn him heel, you missed your opportunity by not having a double turn at SummerSlam. I think that would have been the perfect point to have done it if you were going to do it with this run. Um, we're gonna jump into my weekly fantasy booking minute here. If I'm WWE, I wait until after Cody's lost the title to turn him heel and have
Yeah.
him after he loses the title, have him lose his rematch and have him like start to get in his own head that he's lost a step, and that's when I turn him heel.
Well, and that's just it, right? Like, I think turning him heel while he is the champion, I don't think that accomplishes anything. It's
Yep.
like you have to turn, if you're going to turn him heel, it's turn him heel when he's not the champion and attempting to get the championship back.
Because
That's
that's
the
what we
right
use
time to
it.
do it. I
Yep.
don't think it does anything to your point. I don't think it does anything to turn Cody heel while he's the champion.
No.
Because then you're stuck, right? Like if you turn him heel now, well, you can't take the title off him. He's gonna have
No.
to keep the title for a while, you know? Because then what's the point? Right? Like why would you waste that? You know? And like you and the problem too is you have it sounds like Jacob's gonna be out for a while. And I don't think Jacob Batu is
I,
like treated as like an all-star, like an all-world baby face, right? So like you are desperately running out of baby faces,
yep.
you know, and you can't. I just don't think you can turn your top a baby face, especially with what you're doing with Jey Uso right now. Roman Reigns is not around. You know, CM Punk is on. He's the top baby face on Raw. Like, I mean, do you have any other baby faces on SmackDown besides Randy Orton, who's a part timer?
No. I
You
mean,
know,
technically Sammy and Ilya, but and Damian Priest.
yeah, but they're mid card. They're in the
Yeah.
mid card. You know, so.
They
I
haven't
mean,
positioned anybody yet as a babyface that's high enough other than Randy. Um, what are they saying is wrong with Jacob? Because last I heard it was a dental procedure that he wasn't going to be out that terribly long. They were hoping.
oh, see, I thought it was like a torn ACL.
No, it's from what I had been reading. It was some sort of dental procedure, which
Oh,
I was why I thought it was funny that they chose to have him laying there with his teeth on the ground.
that's
Um,
funny.
but back to the Cody point, I think you're 100% right. They don't have enough faces right now, and not just that, but enough top tier faces.
Hmm.
And I think that I mean SmackDown in general just has a top tier talent problem. Like because outside of Drew, you don't really have a ton of top tier heels either. You know what I mean? And I think honestly, back to my fantasy booking of Cody, I almost would do it after I moved him to Raw, where you actually have more faces that you can have him go up against. You could get your CM Punk versus your Cody feud, but you could have it be Cody going after Punk.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think Cody's going to be going to Raw anytime soon. They
I'm
can't. I
just
mean,
saying
yeah,
they have more of the type of roster that would be feasible to do that type of turn. You know what I mean?
there's still a lot of stories left to tell and a lot of matches left to tell. Like you still got obviously you got to finish this thing with Drew.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna eventually do something with Jacob. You're gonna obviously eventually do something with Randy. And I mean, if I get my way, you're eventually going to do something with Gunther. And hopefully, if this thing ever ends, which we'll get to in a minute, you'll do something with Aleister Black.
yeah.
But anyway, let's get into the rest of the show because this show was
It was
not
okay.
great. Not great. I don't know. So
The
for
run was okay.
starters, I guess I like seeing Shinsuke Nakamura on TV, but at the
Yeah,
same time, don't tell me that he's just Andrade's replacement now. Like, and you're having him and Phoenix partner together, and they went up against the MFTs and just lost straight up. Like, it wasn't really a squash, but they got their heads kicked in pretty good. And man, you gotta like Shinsuke is used to this because this has been going on forever with Shinsuke. But man, Ray Phoenix, what are they doing with this bro? Like, what are they doing with this, bro? This just dude just loses and loses and loses.
So I'm of two minds here. Like, first of all, I don't really understand the pairing of Shinsuke and Fina and Ray. It does almost feel like they were just slotting Shinsuke in to replace Andrade, which, my God, the stuff that's come out about him, have you heard any of that?
I heard that
Apparently the
like
guy was,
he like because he got fired and went to AEW, like he wasn't supposed to, and they put like a non-compete in, and then like now he can't wrestle for like a year or some shit.
you know why they put those that non-compete in though?
Mm-mm.
So apparently in the past, the way WWE had their contracts written, if people were failing their drug tests and got fired for that, they could still go without a non-compete clause. So they were
Sure.
almost rewarding people for getting fired. And TKO saw that, and TKO was like, "Why are we rewarding people for getting fired?" And apparently, one of the things Andrade did was intentionally, or allegedly, so we can't get sued here, um, allegedly failed drug tests intentionally so that he could
Mm.
get himself fired. And this was a TKO thing that they is a smart play because it's right. Like, why are you rewarding people for getting themselves fired? It's what Jeff Hardy did back in the day. But I, like I said, I'm of
So
two minds here
so
because
he can't wrestle for a year, right? Like,
as of right now, nope.
haha.
And AEW might get in some trouble for putting them on TV and not doing their proper research before putting them on. Um,
Just real quick, you know who's going to be the one to take the title off of Cody? I just changed my mind. Speaking of AEW, Chris Jericho.
oh dear God.
Sit with that for the rest of the day.
Why would you do that to me? Why would you put the learning tree in my head like that?
You know he's coming back at the Royal Rumble, right? Like that's a definite. You- I
Why?
I promise you he's going to be the number 30 entrant at this year's Royal Rumble.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. I really think so. I think they're going to give him a bajillion dollars. It's in Saudi Arabia, but they're going to give him a bajillion dollars, and he's going to show up he's going to be the number 30 entrant at the men's Royal Rumble. I don't think he's going to win it. He's probably going to go like right into a feud with somebody, but I'm telling you, Chris Jericho, his contract is up with AEW at the end of the year.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that.
And he's like, he even came out and said, somebody asked him, he's like, what are you going to do when your contract is up? And he's like, I never say never with going back to WWE. Now that Vince is gone, like,
And they're going to put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he does deserve it as much as we
oh,
all love the crap.
absolutely.
As much as we all love the
Absolutely.
crap on him. But Jericho is still what I mean, he was the first ever undisputed champion. Like,
Yeah.
and I know we went off on a tangent there for a second, but I can't.
Sorry. I had to. I had to.
I hate you for putting that thought in my head now. But this Phoenix thing, I don't know what their thing is. If it's just they don't know what to do with him, or what. But the reason I'm of two minds here is I do think the MFTs needed to win here because you basically just did a reintroduction of them,
True.
and with the face paint and like this badass attitude and everything, and you're trying to reintroduce them as the monsters they're supposed to be. They needed to win here. They need to go on a run. They need to be treated like the badasses. I mean, Tama Tonga looks like he ate the old Tama Tonga. So like I think that this was the smart play, but I don't
I
know.
agree. I agree with the MFTs winning. It's just you should have done this with another team. Had
That's what
them.
I was the point I was about to get to. But the problem is right now you have all these SmackDown tag teams that are really good, and it's
That are
almost like
also not wrestling.
but that's the point I was going to get to. It's almost like they didn't want to feed one of the actual tag teams to the MFTs. And this is where I wish that the other half of the dude from Pretty Deadly wasn't hurt, because that's who I would have fed to them.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you have a perfectly good, pretty deadly defeat to them,
We
right?
don't
Like
know because the one guy's hurt.
yeah, yeah, Nick or whatever's Kid
Not
Sabian.
Kit, the other one.
Oh, the other one. Yeah, you know what I mean. But like even still, I mean, Fraxium's back in NXT. Um, friggin' DIY doesn't wrestle anymore. I mean, the Street Profits haven't been on TV in weeks, and they're not obviously done with the Wyatts right now. I mean, you've
I mean,
got so many teams that aren't wrestling there, at all. Like
I
where
mean,
is it? Where's Motor City Machine Guns? They won a match last week. You could have fed what's their faces? Umberto and Angel to the MFTs, like
aren't they a Raw tag team?
doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You
Um,
know,
I think Umberto and Angel are being saved for the Escobar return. Because apparently WWE offered Santos a ton of money to not go to AEW. Um,
I don't love that.
they,
It's not
I
gonna
don't mind it because I actually really enjoy Santos Escobar, and I think that as long as they offered him this money, they're going to do something bigger with him. But we at least got to see Fraxium and DIY on the show this week, which is
That's
better than
true.
which is a step better than it has been. But you, myself, and T have all been big proponents that we should be seeing at least one match every Friday with the two of these tag teams in it.
Oh
And
yeah.
even if you have to split it up and have, I mean, these tag teams have all eaten losses before. They can all eat a loss to the MFTs. Like, I don't think it hurts any of them.
Well, I think to your point, that's you need to get those tag titles on the MFTs and away from the Wyatts. And I think maybe we'll eventually get to that. But then to your point, right? Like I want I want a 25-minute tag team match every week on SmackDown. I don't care what team. And once a month, even if it's not at a PLE, I want those tag team titles defended.
Yep.
I mean, it just writes itself. You don't even need story. It just writes itself. And then once every 6 months, do a gauntlet or something like that, or a tournament or whatever, right? Like it's so easy. Like it just writes itself. And you have
Like
like
who
eight tag teams. It's like it's a perfect like number to do a tournament, to do a gauntlet, to do whatever. And then, you just have it build towards a banger match at a PLE. And then the other 6 months of the year, you do a four-team ladder match at WrestleMania. Like, I mean, come on, it's so easy. Books
and
itself in its sleep.
you know what that banger PLA match could be that I want them to bring back this year? They have enough of them on SmackDown to do it. Give me a tag team elimination chamber match again.
That'd be friggin' ridiculous.
We haven't seen one of those in probably 10 years. And the last one they did was awesome. And I think that with the tag teams they have on SmackDown, they could do an eight team elimination chamber.
Yeah.
But no, I think, like I said, the smart thing is for the MFTs to have won here, but to do it at the expense of not so much Shinsuke because I'm happy to see he's back on TV at least again. But at Phoenix, and I don't even think it's a byproduct of them like punishing Phoenix or anything. I think it's just a byproduct of them not knowing what the hell to do with Phoenix. Like,
Yeah. You might be right.
honestly,
You might be right.
where do you put him on the roster?
Yeah. No, you might be right. So I don't know. I mean, if you're not going to pull the trigger on Penta, you pair him and Penta up and you give them the Raw tag team titles.
I still think Penta might be the one to win the title off of Dom. I mean, Dom
I
has been
hope.
a heel for so long while holding that title. I was thinking about it the other day after we talked Raw. Does it make sense to have Dom a heel, drop that title to Rusev another heel? Or does it make more sense to have him drop it to Penta the face and then have Penta and Rusev feud?
You're probably right, but I don't know. I don't trust the way WWE is like stupid with their booking. I don't trust them to like to do the right thing with that IC title like they did with the US title. But we'll see.
They're
Um
building Dom for the massive face pop that he's going to get because the face pop when he turns is going to be huge.
we'll see. I just don't see it.
People
He's not,
love it.
I know, and I don't understand it. And you know what? He's not Eddie, and he'll never be Eddie. And that's what they're trying to do. I don't know. I'm not on that train. Maybe I'd love to be proven wrong, but I'm just not on that train. And at the same time, I'm talking out of the other side of my mouth too, right? Because I understand, like, yeah, you got to build stars for the future, and I get it. He's young, but he doesn't do it for me because I think I've been so soured with how that IC title run has gone, and I need something different. But I digress. We're not talking about
Yeah.
Raw right now. But let's talk about another wrestler that I just think they're completely screwing the pooch with, and that is Julia. So women's tag or women's championship non-title match between Tiffany Stratton and Kiana James. There was obviously zero chance Kiana James was going to beat Tiffany Stratton here, and it was just more up for the post-match angle for what happened here. It was a fine match. I'll
Yeah.
give Kiana James credit. She looked good, and I think Tiffany is a great wrestler, and Tiffany definitely like made her look better than maybe she actually is. And Julia interfered a little bit. But the whole point of this match was to build the post-match angle, which saw Jade Cargill return and then turn heel on Tiffany Stratton. And it just made Julia and Kiana James feel like a complete afterthought. And
Right.
the only saving grace, I guess, is when Jade Cargill does beat Tiffany, because it's going to happen. When she beats Tiffany at this Saturday night's main event, maybe Julia is her first challenger, but then there's your problem right there is she'll just beat her. So I don't know. I'm so sick of what they've done to Julia. She's like one of my favorites in the women's division. I've said it for months on this channel. And just
They
wait for your contract to run out and go to AEW or go back to
I don't
Japan.
want that.
I do
That's,
because dude, they're shitting all over her. It's terrible.
I
It's
want them to
freaking
move her to Raw, is what I want.
yeah, I'd like that, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I just
Um,
don't think they give a shit about her.
so I have thoughts about this match. First of all, credit to Kiana James that they actually gave her time to have an actual match and not lose in 30 seconds like the last time she was in the ring.
Mhm.
Um, because she showed that she can actually. The girl's incredibly athletic. I mean, that
Oh
whole
yeah.
gymnastics point where they were countering each other was super fun to watch. I mean, she
Hmm.
definitely has the look, like when she's not in her lawyer agent looking attire. If Vince were here, he'd be like, right to the top of the card. But
Uh-huh.
um, the match itself, like you said, was a good match.
Well, she's not blonde, so no, not right to the top
Yeah,
of the card.
that's a valid point. She'd get slightly closer to the top of the card. She's no Stacy Keibler, but
True.
um, my personal favorite diva of all time, mind you. But um, I think that, and if you look back at our messages that between you and I in this match, WWE missed an opportunity here with their insistence on still trying to make Jade Cargill a thing. When they had Kiana and Julia attack her after the match, was the perfect opportunity for them to set up Tiffany versus Julia. And I'm 100% fine with Julia being the one to take the title off Tiffany, especially with how long Tiffany has held it. Give Julia, let her win that. I would have had her win it over her at not the Saturday Night Main Event, but maybe Survivor Series, and go from there. But WWE's insistence on, oh, we're going to have Jade come out and rescue her, and then randomly have her start beating up Tiffany, it just it feels like this is just another attempt by WWE to force Jade Cargill down our throat. And I'm sick of it. I'm sorry. She got the Goldberg treatment in AEW and it did nothing to help her. She came to WWE, spent 2 years before she even debuted, something crazy like that. It might not have been 2 years, it might have been a year, but more than enough time that she should have been in NXT getting reps in and practice, only to debut and be treated like Goldberg still. I mean, she's had some losses here now, but they still treat her like she's going to be like huge. And I don't think that other than the look, I still don't think her wrestling skill qualifies her to be thought of that way. And her promos still feel incredibly awkward to me. Like, I mean, I guess a heel Jade makes more sense just for her personality, I think. Like her angry little promo afterwards with Kathy Kelly felt a little bit more realistic than some of her other promos. But
That's what I
I
was gonna
just
say. It's like she's naturally a heel. Like, and I think that's why the promo work has been so bad, is because she's just not believable as a baby face. She's not. like if you were going to present her better, like to your point about her being Goldberg-esque, right? Like you need to just have her come out and crush people. And the fact that she's having like 50-50 matches with people and not looking like a killer, I think is part of the problem. And it just doesn't make her a believable character. And I'll tell you right now, like it's my lock of the year that she's going to beat Tiffany at Saturday night's main event next weekend. Because like if you don't pull the trigger on her now, she's done. She will never be over with the fans if she does not win the title next weekend.
Want her to win the title. I want
I,
Bianca Belair
I
for
know.
somebody to show up and
I just
cost her.
I don't think that's going to happen. To your point about Bianca Belair, that's your match. This is how you get to your Mania match. It's going to be her and Bianca for that title at Mania. That's how it's going to go. Jade's going to hold on to that. Bianca will probably win the Women's Royal Rumble, and that is who is going to challenge Jade at WrestleMania, and that's going to be your big money match at WrestleMania. They're going to do that. It's going to be Rhea versus Stephanie and Bianca versus Jade at WrestleMania. Calling it
Then,
right now.
then maybe if they get so hyper focused on Bianca versus Jade, it'll allow them to do something more with the U.S. title and Julia because it'll open up more for that.
Maybe, but I don't feel great about it, but we'll see.
I don't either, but you know my thoughts on what the women's U.S. problem on SmackDown is, and it's the lack of talent on SmackDown.
I mean, I suppose eventually, I know it would be a step down, but you'd have to find a way to like after Tiffany is done with Jade and she takes a little bit of time off, that she comes in and just goes into a program with Julia. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, that could help, I guess, a little bit. I don't know.
like I said, it's always as far as the Julia thing goes. In my opinion, it's always just been a quality of competition issue.
Yeah, I agree. So next we had Ilya Dragunov keeping the open challenge gimmick alive for now. And we had him being challenged by Aleister Black with Zelina Vega. I'm glad that they're pairing those two together and they're not just doing anything stupid with Zelina Vega. But that said, again, another never-ending feud. The end of this match, which this was a great match. This was the best match on the show. And I'm glad they gave it a lot of time. And Ilya looks like $1,000,000. I'm so glad he's back. But Damian Priest comes out at the end, distracting Aleister Black and costing him the match, and then just beat the piss out of him after the match was over. So even though the last match was, what was it, a last man standing match, it's just, no, feud's not done. So are we going to have are we going to have like a Hell in a Cell between these two guys for this feud to be over?
Maybe an I Quit match.
Yeah.
So normally I'm right there with you on never ending feuds, but I really, outside of the way this match ended, couldn't think of another way that you get out of this match without Aleister Black taking the title off Ilya already. And I'm okay that this match ended the way that it did because it allowed us to keep the title on Ilya. Um, Normally I'm right there with these never-ending feuds needing to be over. And like I said, though, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with this one. If if they weren't
Here's
gonna
an
have,
idea. Don't book it.
that's what I mean. Like if you, I mean, I know you want to book a a fantastic match, but I would have saved this for down the road when you're willing to let Ilya drop the title, and I would have saved him for him to do it on like maybe a Saturday night main event. Have him come out when people are watching more and be like, "Oh, here, I'm going to do a PLE level open challenge," and then you have Aleister Black come out and beat him. Like, but do it down the road where you don't write yourself into a corner. And I like Damian Priest, I do, but I don't think it's doing any favors having him in this never-ending feud with Black. It really needs to be over, and then they can put him in a feud with I don't care the MFT is somebody like pair him with honestly there you go. I would be okay with a pairing of Damian Priest and Ray Phoenix as a tag team. That would be a fun tag team, but I don't know why the WWE is so insistent on dragging out. It feels like Nia and the Nia and Tiffany feud that never ended last year.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And I mean, at least we're getting good matches, right?
Yeah,
Because like, that's the one thing I will say about the US title is that boy oh boy have we been getting excellent matches
but
for the last couple of months. Like it's been really great. Like the quality of the matches that Sami Zayn has been putting on, and you've got a lot of guys in that mid card section of SmackDown who can put on these awesome matches, and it's just and that's why it pisses me off so much with the IC title is because you're not getting awesome matches. You're getting the same rinse and repeat with Dominic cheating, interference, and I get it. I get the Eddie comparisons, but like cheating, interference, rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And instead, like you don't get just good matches. You know what I mean? You have an opportunity to get good matches. The working title,
yep,
like that's what it's supposed to be. You want to have Dom do that shit, take the title off of him. Then I don't care. I
yeah.
don't care at all if Dom doesn't have the title. And honestly, I think the AAA title is even makes that even more fun because he can just claim to be the champion of just another promotion. And I think
Yep.
that suits his character. So he doesn't need the IC title to be the character that he is. And I think that's what's hurting it for me. But I
So
digress.
I have a question for you though, with the U.S. Open Challenge and everything that's been going on for the last few months. Now that it's Ilya doing the U.S. Open Challenge, and it looks like it's going to be continuing, which thank God, I think it needs to. It like I've said for a while, it lets you showcase whoever's on your roster.
Yeah.
However, what do you do with Sammy?
I mean, he's probably gonna take some time off, and then maybe he goes into a feud with Drew after Drew's done with Cody.
Because like maybe giving
Maybe he goes
Sammy
into
some
a feud with
time off.
Aleister Black.
Yeah, after that feud is done. Yeah, I mean, maybe giving Sammy some time off will allow people like me to feel more positive about him again.
Maybe he'll go to
Um,
Raw. Maybe he'll go to Raw, and yeah, he might show up on Raw and get. He actually that's why they took it off of him. He's gonna go over to Raw and be involved in the Roman Reigns War Games
Bloodline thing.
situation. Yeah, that's where he's gonna go. Sami Zayn's gonna show up on Raw and help all of those guys in that whole thing. He's gonna be involved in that whole War Games thing with the Bloodline and all those guys. That's what's gonna happen there.
Okay.
And that
Just was
actually makes
curious.
that makes sense why they took the title off of him.
Yeah. Just was curious what your thoughts were since he had that little talking segment with Ilya beforehand about the
Yeah.
sanctity of the U.S. Open Challenge and how he was bequeathing it upon him. And
Yeah.
my God, the intensity of Ilya Dragunov.
I love
That
it.
guy,
I love
I
him.
thought he was gonna blow an artery.
I cannot wait. And I know they're not going to do it, but I hope they do it. You got to bring Gunther in on SmackDown, and you got to give those guys a match on a
Another
PLE.
match.
You got to do it. You got to give those guys a main roster match. It was like that. They had a match at an NXT UK show probably 4 or 5 years ago, and it was the best wrestling match I've ever seen in my life.
You want to
Ever.
talk strong style? That's strong style. The hard hitting. My God, I remember that exact match you're talking about. It's probably one of the hardest hitting matches I've ever seen.
That's when Ilya beat him for the title. That's
Yep.
when Gunther was on that like crazy 800 days Walter at that point. He was
Yep.
on that crazy 800-day reign that when he took the title off of Pete Dunne in on NXT UK, and he beat everybody. And then him and Ilya had that crazy match, and that's when Ilya beat him. And it was unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Yep.
So yeah, I props to Dragunov. He's awesome. He's so awesome.
And I like the neck tattoo that he has now.
Yeah, it's cool. So then the main event saw Drew McIntyre defeat Jimmy Uso in a no disqualification match. And while I know the internet really, really wants Drew to win the title over Cody, it's not happening. Hate to burst your bubble, but Drew has been getting the upper hand on Cody every single time. At the end of
Yep.
every episode and at the end of every segment he's in with Cody, Drew is standing tall. Sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but Cody's going to beat Drew next weekend.
I'd be a little bit worried
Your
next
title changes are
Friday.
going to be, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'd be a little bit worried if next Friday Cody stood tall, just because it's the night before. But no, you're 100% right. He's been getting the upper hand, and honestly, I thought they were going to end it without either of them getting the upper hand this week after he was chased away from ringside when Cody ran down. But I'm glad to see that he was able to hit that out of nowhere Claymore on Cody. But kind of sad that you burst the bubble there. I mean, there's gonna be lots of sad internet folks, but
Well, you're gonna get two title changes at the Saturday night's main event next weekend. Like Jade's going to win the title from Tiffany, and CM Punk is going to win the title from Vacant. So
Bacon has just won. They're the most decorated champion in all of wrestling. It's incredible.
true. It's
Um,
true. It's true. So
you
so
want to talk
overall
about?
that yeah. So overall that was SmackDown. What's your final rating for the show?
I give it a 4 just based off the wrestling alone. I mean, they keep giving us these 5-star equivalent Tokyo Dome Open Challenge matches. I will I will continue to rate SmackDown on a higher scale. Yeah, some of their decisions don't always make a whole lot of sense, but the way I look at the two shows is Raw is more of the story show and SmackDown is more of the wrestling show. And like I said, as long as SmackDown keeps putting on these great matches, even the women's match was top tier. I'll continue to rate it higher than average.
Yeah. I would agree. I think it's definitely seen an uptick in the last few weeks, and I think the Cargill heel turn desperately needed to happen, and we do get a lot of good wrestling as there is a lot of good wrestlers. And to your point about Raw being the story show, you're absolutely right about that. So, I would say my final rating is a failed drug test out of 5.
I was going to
So.
say it's going to be a Skynet out of 5.
So with that, I have been Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by my main man, Mr. Sean O'Neill. And guys, thank you so much for joining us for all of these episodes. We really appreciate it. And if there's anything you want us to discuss, let us know in the comments down below. We read all of them and we respond to all of them. And we really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. Have yourselves a fantastic day and take care.